Hello.
Hello, Fabian. Nice having you here.
It's good to
How
be
is
here.
how is everything in Brazil?
It's good. Yeah, we are having a lot of problems with coronavirus, but it is
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, we all have, I would say. It's morning for you, I guess.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
11 in the
Well,
morning.
we can start. I mean, for people are dropping in all the time. If you have any questions to Fabian, enter them in the chat, and we'll both see them so we can answer them. But first, I mean, you only had 60 seconds earlier, so what would you like to add? I mean, for you as a startup, where are your biggest challenges or your biggest opportunities, would you say?
Yeah, perfect. I think that we have two big challenges here. The first one is that our team is really young. I'm the CEO of the company with 24 years old, and we started with 19, 20. So we have the challenge to create this trust from the farmers, the investors, so they can trust that us, like young guys, can do this product. So that is one challenge. And the second one is our market, because we are talking about farmers.
Yeah.
And this coronavirus situation, we had to change a lot of our marketing strategy to digital versions. And for the farmers, this is also a challenge. So we had to adjust a lot of our strategies. And I think this is one of the challenges, the market and also our age. So, but we are doing fine. We had some really creative solutions for that problems, and we are having good results, but it is a challenge.
Yeah, I understand. And how big are you today? How many guys are in the startup?
Right now we have 11 people working with us, so it is a small team. But last year was just four, and now we have 11. So we really grew this year, even with coronavirus. So yeah, it is a small team, and we are working with farmers here in Brazil in three different states. In the south of Brazil, something like in the middle of Brazil, there's the region that produce more food, so we are having great clients in these places, and we also installed the system in United States last year.
Okay, so you go internationally. That's something you're aiming for.
Yes, especially because we are talking about mainly corn and soybeans, that is crops that are using in seasons. And the season that the farmers are growing here in Brazil is the opposite in the United States. So we can have the system in the field the entire year, changing these growing seasons in these two places. So it is one of our strategies to keep the product in the market during the entire year and learn in one place to put this knowledge to improve the system and test in the other place in the next season.
Interesting. What about tomorrow then? Will you have some meetings then in the matchmaking?
Yes, I have, and I'm really excited about it, especially because right now we have a new feature in the product. There is the installation by the user, so we can just chip the sensors with a video and like a step by step, and the farmers
Okay.
can install the system. So we
Okay.
can go to different places. We are not just here in Brazil, we can go to other places. And these meetings maybe will be a door for us to start working in different countries.
Yeah. I mean, this kind of concept with this matchmaking, is that something you've been doing before in Brazil, or is it a completely new thing for you?
We did that, but not in Brazil. We did in United States when we were in acceleration process, and then we had the matchmaking with other companies. Here in Brazil, I think it's something that is not that common. We need to work on that, but
Hmm.
it's not new for me. But for the most of the companies here in Brazil, it is something that is we are not used to.
Hmm. And I mean, if we they've been talking a little bit about it here in the at the main stage as well. I mean, if we take the last example with IBM and the Greenalytics, I mean, would you say that it's common way to work in Brazil that big corporations work with startup and collaborate in this ways? I mean, you're maybe not that kind of company, but yeah, the general thinking is that common for
No,
startups?
I don't think so. There is some cases, but it's not common. So I think it is a really nice thing to do. So we can use like the great ideas from startups, but they don't have a lot of resources. So they can use from the big companies and they can grow together. I really think that one company cannot do everything. And if you integrate with other companies, we can have a better result. So it is not that common, but it should be.
Yes. Well, now I got some questions here in the chat as well. We can start with Humphrey. Do you see them as well, Fabian?
Yes, I can see.
Yeah, start with that one.
Okay, so talking about remote areas, it is something that we are working right now. Here in Brazil, we have a lot of connectivity problems as well. So right now, our systems in the field doesn't need to be connected with internet. They are communicating with radio frequency. So we just need one point with internet connection in the entire farm. And that could be 3G, Wi-Fi, whatever. So that we are using here in Brazil, and we can use as well in Africa. And Brazil and Africa have really similar situations in food production according to soil types and weather. So it is something that we can do if you have one point with internet in the entire farm. And related to the second question, I can put the website here in the chat. I think it's easier. Here, yeah. And I'm able to give you more details. I'm really excited to talk about it. And we are in this moment that we can grow and go to other places. So it is really exciting for us. And we are open to talk.
Yeah. And how are you funded? Do you have external investors, or are you funded by cash flow? Or
we have external investors. So in the beginning of this year, in February, we had our first investment round here in Brazil. So we had money to improve our technology. And one important point is that we are developing all the technology, hardware and software. So we have our own sensors to measure the soil moisture and our own platform. So the investment was to improve and increase the velocity to this development and to put the system in the field. So with that, we build 100 units of our sensors to put in the field here in Brazil. And we are working with this investment money until the middle of next year. And then probably we will go for a second round with the goal to increase the sales and put the system in different markets.
I see. Great. And I mean, if we look at the clients or the customers you have today, are they, I mean, farmers, are they those who have who are big corporations, or are they the small local farmers? What would you say? What is the...
Yeah, we have both, but our main goal is to work with large farms, especially because they have more problems with water. There is a lot of laws in some places here in Brazil that are regulating the use of water for irrigation. So they have a lot of problems in that area, and we can solve that. So we have small farms working with our system, and we also have large farms, but we are looking for the large farms to put more systems, and then we can have even a better result because we can save more water and increase the food production in a different level. So that is our main goal, working especially with corn, soybeans, and something like that. But we have farmers using our system for walnut orchards, for strawberries, so they can use for any kind of crop, but the result will be better in large farms.
I see. Well, yeah, like we said before, do you have any questions? Put them in the chat so we will answer them. But before that, or we don't have anyone for the moment, did you follow the talks yesterday, the AI talks in the conference?
Yeah, some of them, and I think it's really interesting, especially because I'm a computer science student, so that is a really interesting area for me. And I think we can use technology to solve a really different problems and use that like artificial intelligence to understand some patterns. In our case, we are using to understand the stage of the plant. So if they need more water, less water, if they are growing in the way that they need. So I think it's really important to talk about the subjects and to understand that it's not something from the future, it's something that we are doing right now. So it was really interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, there's such a big, what do you say? I mean, there's so many things happening and so many things you need to think about regarding AI. I mean, we have this guy earlier in the show, who Andreas, who from this startup We AI, are into this. I mean, AI that you can trust, that you really build systems that we trust, because I mean, in the long run, there will be so many AIs out there, and I mean, we need to trust them in some way. Is that something you have been touching upon in your startup, or is it just something you think that, well, we should do something about it, but we don't have the time? Or what would you say?
Yeah, definitely the second option. We know that we need to be really careful and pay attention on these things, but for now it is on our backlog and it's something that we need to improve with the time. But as I said, we have a really small team, so right now we don't have like hands to do all the things that we need to, but we are expecting to increase the number of people in our team, and then we'll be able to do something about these subjects and others that we need to work on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And when you are a startup, you really have to focus and do the most essential things to get out the MVP and all like that. No more questions? Not anyone who has the last question to Fabian? Well, we'll see. But really great having you here. I wish you the best of luck tomorrow for your meetings. I think you'll think it's really interesting, and hopefully there will be some kind of collaboration after it. Yeah, there's around 4 minutes left until the show starts again at the main stage. So now we might have some time for a coffee break or go to the bathroom or something like that.
Perfect. And thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you for joining, and and good luck in the competition as well. There will be a polling in the end who will be the winner. So I hope it will be you, Fabian.
Oh, thank you. Vote for me.
Yeah, I will. Take care.
Bye.